Right. Hey everyone, I'm Klloo, and welcome back to the data pack. So, I think it's time we do some feature showcases, right? So I have everything set up for us to go through everything little by little, although we'll fix the season while we're here. So, this is a feature of the pack as well, but if you want some, what would you call it? Bug testing or debugging or admin commands, right? If you do function and you do glossary, you'll have a whole bunch of different functions that you can utilize to play around with some of the settings. So for instance, right now, what I can do is I can set the season to a different season. So we'll go back to, you know what, we'll do Ender, because I don't think Ender affects. No, Frost won't affect this current biome. Yeah, so the seasonal period has shifted. It's currently the season of Frost, right? So the particles should clear up. Perfect. But today, the feature that we're going to look at is going to be mob abilities. So I have a few things set up to replicate how the mobs would act in-game, because basically, the gist of the system, as I turn everything on, is every mob in the game has been granted some special abilities. Now, passive mobs, they have 2. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Neutral mobs have 3, and hostile 4, right? So they have 4 different abilities I can pick from in random intervals. Now, that random interval will also increase or decrease depending on your current power. So as you gain player stats, which was something we touched on last time, right? Our power levels down here. So as that increases or decreases, the interval between them actually using abilities is going to change. Now, we're not going to go through all the mob abilities, but what I have set up is basically a way to stun the mob, which is literally a status effect in the game, and we'll get to that when we go over status effects. But then I also have these command blocks over here, which will forcefully activate their abilities, right? So it says Runechant mob abilities, activation for passive mobs, for neutral mobs, and then for hostile mobs. So depending on what we choose to spawn in, right, we can just run through their abilities. Just making sure that this is set to all types of mobs, which it is. Perfect. Okay. So what to pick first is the quandary. Something, we'll go with a chicken, right? Nice and easy. So this should force the chicken to use its ability every 8 seconds or so. We might have to decrease the interval, but hopefully, if we just hang around the chicken, right, it will force its ability. Oh, without proper rest, I'm feeling fatigued. Again, play a stat system, let that be. Let us get rid of that and change the timer to 3 seconds for the passive mobs. Because there's also a luck roll that, oh, why did I set that to 4? That determines whether or not it uses a ability from the list or a unique interaction. So we'll play around with that too. There we go. So chicken used golden egg, and from that we got a golden nugget, use golden egg as well. Again, passive mobs should have 2 different abilities that they can use, right? We keep getting the same sort of ability. Seems like the chicken laid something interesting. So yeah, you can now turn chicken farming into golden nugget farming, right? What we're looking for though is a better drop than the nuggets. Although, you know, we'll keep some stuff secret if it doesn't use it anytime soon. No, we got a nugget again. We will swap over to something else. It's just giving us nuggets. Let's get out a trusty sword, and I will just give myself strength as well to make this nice and easy to clean up. Infinite 99 and true. No, you don't want to lay a golden egg for us? That's fine. There we go. Chicken's done for. Alright. So that was a passive mob. How about a neutral mob, for instance, like a wolf? Right, so we have a wolf. That would be this side, but there we go. It used Howl, and that gave us weakness, which I'm hiding with my camera. Right, there we go. Weakness 2 from the wolf howling. So there we go. 2 abilities so far. Weakening Howl washes over those outside the pack, and then the pack is ready to hunt, and as you can see, it sort of buffed itself. There should be a 3rd ability, which we might not see, because what I'm going to do is tame the wolf. And it should swap over to a 2nd list of abilities that are actually kind of useful for the player. Oh, there we go. So now that's tamed, let's see what abilities it uses. Come on, use something slightly different, please. Right? Before I have to remove you from the vicinity. No, yes, no, yes, no. It's only slight chances, even at the 8-second interval. And we'll speed up. I should just make these all 3. I didn't want them to spam. It seems like at 8 seconds, still kind of slow. Okay. The way the roll system works is there is a random timer, but there we go. It used lick, and I was not quick enough, but it actually gave us regeneration. There we go. Am I quick enough? There we go. Right? So instead of Howl or Pack Mentality, I don't know which one it's replacing, now has the lick ability, which is your company helps heal your wounds, right? Nice little doggo. And there we go, Bellow, which gave us, what does it do? A companion lets out a weakening bellow. Sorry, that affects everyone but the player now and gives them weakness. Oh, and we even see the third one, which is pack tempo. So yeah, all the yellow abilities have turned into nice, helpful green abilities. Sorry, there is a lot to explain, so we'll slow down for a second here. So, starting off, how the rolls work, right? There is a random roll after a set amount of interval. That interval is increased or decreased depending on your power, and what that random roll then picks between is three options. One, using a luck ability, depending on the player's luck, but this is still a random chance, right? And then a actual ability of the mob, and then no ability. So that basically there are two chances that the mob does nothing, and one chance that it does something. If it does something, then it uses one of its many abilities. In the case of neutral mobs, it has three different abilities to pick between, which we didn't see for the normal wolf, but for a tamed wolf, we have Lick, Bellow, and Pack Tempo. So yeah, having a wolf companion could be nice and helpful now. Alright, with that done, we will move on to a hostile mob. And what should we do? We'll do a skeleton, I think. Right? I'm a skeleton, and use Soul Fragment. So it damaged itself. That was also daytime. Bone back cover, which is also kind of nice. I shouldn't have picked skeleton. I forgot it's daytime. That was short-lived. Time set. Nope. Night. There we go. Alright, try again. The skeleton. It has Soul Fragment. It takes a little bit of damage and has a random chance to summon a Vex or buff itself. Right? Or it has Bone Cover, which will summon a tower of bone right in front of it, so it can strafe around it and annoy you to death, right? As it just has aimbot arrows. Again, they won't actually trigger this quickly. We're just using command blocks to facilitate it. Strafe will dash to one side, as you saw, right? And that could be annoying if you're fighting at range. And then volley, so we actually get to see all four, where it just shoots out a bunch of arrows. So, now, we'll talk about the color coordination. So we have yellow, green, and red. Red is a dangerous ability, as in it does something dangerous right then and there. So most likely you're going to take some level of damage from it. For instance, if you're close enough to the skeleton, you're going to get hit by the volley. Yellow is a interaction only specific to the mob in itself, but can be either good or bad, right? So for instance, strength doesn't actually affect the player, but doesn't really help the player either. And then of course green is the opposite of red. It is a helpful ability. So for instance, the wolf with its lick gives the player regeneration, and that's why it's green. So that is one of each mob. Now there are other mobs in the pack, right? They've been tweaked. There are boss level mobs, there are elite level mobs, and then there are special mobs. I don't know the commands off the top of my head to actually summon them. So why don't we go through some other useful abilities and maybe some nuisance ones. Right, let's summon a Sniffer. Sniffer does have some other things to talk about. It might be a little bit messy here though, but we'll see. We'll summon a Sniffer, we'll turn back passive mobs. There we go, we have Unearth, right? So now it digs up seeds. It's kind of a quicker proc and animation than what the Sniffer normally does. It also has the ability to turn sand or gravel that's nearby, and I should be able to still place some, we'll see, into suspicious sand, which will actually have loot tame and you can actually dig from. So yeah, you can use snippers to convert sand if you want. Hopefully we can get it to trigger. There we go, unearth, and it turned into suspicious sand. Nice and simple, right? So you can actually dig through that, and there's more merit to having our friendly companions, right? And actually farming and breeding them, other than 2 new flowers, which is something I do detest, but it does have a few other things on its loot table when it does do unearth, although it seems like we're only getting seeds. So what I'm going to do is give ourselves luck, because that does also affect some of the drop tables, as well as a lot of different interactions within the pack. We set that to true, see if we can get a better drop from it actually using unearth, or if we're just going to get the seeds over and over again. Ooh, did I see anything shiny? No, we got a torch flower that time, but mostly still getting just seeds. There's some sand spawning. Anything else? Still seeds, lucky find, that's a lucky proc. So again, instead of it picking a mob ability, you could say it picked a player ability, right? So we scouted something up nearby mob. You summoning onto yourself is kind of an issue. But then again, you can't move around, so that's half the problem. It appears we're not actually getting any of the other loot tables, so that's something I might have to look into and tweak, because it should be more likely. I am going to assume it's broken, and I have not fixed up the loot tables. But yeah, there we go. Gist of mob abilities, and we even get a unique item drop, right? Mainly because of the luck. We got some Sniffer leather. Oh, no. Was this from the Snipper? I doubt it was from the Snipper. But yeah, there we go. That is the mob abilities in a nutshell. Right, we might as well do Creeper. Creeper has some fun ones to examine. Do that, and then we'll turn this to a Creeper. Summon it, and wait and see. Lucky fine, because we have luck, that's fine. That's just a chance for it to, for you to get a mob drop directly from it. Daze is also another one, which just stuns it. But there we go, supercharge. So creepers can become a little bit more deadly, but they will obviously die from the lightning damage. And also has rush, dominable, and it should have one more dangerous ability. But yeah, so creepers are definitely something to worry about, right? Although you can hear the lightning. Rush in combination is probably the bad one. So yeah, it's just speed onto it. Dominable will make it immune to the next hit. And then there's also one to turn it invisible. So fun times with creepers. But I think we'll leave it there, right? Short and sweet. There you go. Mob abilities, one of the features of the pack. Enjoy. Oh yeah, links in the description if you want to download the pack and try it. Still in beta, still a work in progress, but it should be playable, right? Hope you enjoyed. See ya.